Hey guys, this is Delphine with the CultureQuirk channel. So we talk a lot about Japanese grammar on this channel. I've tried to make a lot of basic lessons for those of you who are beginners or who want to review. But of course, it's hard to actually form sentences and start speaking a new language without learning some basic vocabulary too. Now I do want to start making vocab lessons in the near future. I'm thinking about making like little quickies for these. If you have any thoughts or suggestions on the matter, please let me know. But I wanted to give you something right now, a tool to help you really get started. And that is the Core 2000 set of flashcards. I'm not sure who created this in the first place. It's not me, but whoever it is, they were awesome. Basically all it is a list of 2,000 vocabulary words that are just used very commonly in Japanese. That number 2,000 may seem really overwhelming at first, but when you think about it, it's really not all that much, especially considering the fact that once you know all 2,000 words, you can get by in a lot of different situations. Language learning in and of itself is a really long journey, and it's kind of a given that you're gonna have to memorize a ton of information. Knowing the Core 2000 is just a really good base, and mastering it sets a really nice and clear goal for yourself. It's kind of a big project, but it's still very concrete and doable, and you'll feel really accomplished once you're done, and you'll know a good chunk of Japanese. So how do you access these flashcards? Well, the good news is that they're digital, so you can just download them, and they're for free. I originally found and started to use these on a site called smart.fm, which used to be called I Know, and now they've changed it back to I Know, but now you have to pay for it, so I don't use that site anymore. But fortunately, these flashcards are also available on Anki. If you don't know what Anki is, it's basically an intelligent flashcard system, and if you want to know more about it, here's a link to a video explaining how it works. Then you simply download the deck through Anki itself. It's one of the more popular decks out there, so it should be pretty easy to find. And the way that it works, at least in the deck that I downloaded, is that you are given the Japanese vocab word, and then you're given an example sentence that is using that word. There are actually two different types of card for each vocab word. One will show you the word along with the full-fledged sentence with the kanji and everything, and then when you look at the answer, everything's written in hiragana so that you know how it's all pronounced, and then it'll show you the meaning of the sentence and the word. And then the other type of card is the opposite, so they give you the word and sentence written in hiragana, and then when you flip it, it shows you the full-fledged kanji sentence along again with the meaning. So with 2,000 words in the deck, that's actually 4,000 cards to get through. A lot of material, but pretty straightforward. Now to give you some extra tips, I'll let you know how I'm using this deck. Now I started learning this list a long time ago, so I think I'm pretty familiar with most of the words on this list. So now that I've re-downloaded it onto my Anki, I'm mostly using this just for review. I'm doing about 40 new cards a day, pretty comfortably, although you can choose to do more or less than that, it's all up to you. And my primary goal with the Core 2000, aside of course from learning and practicing vocab, is to get better at reading. So whenever a card comes up that has all of the kanji in the sentence, I read it out loud to myself and see if I know how to pronounce all of that kanji. And then when I see a sentence that doesn't have that kanji, I just focus on the meaning to see if I know how to say all of those words without the kanji as a hint. But of course, you don't have to follow this method exactly. So for example, while I try to know every single word in a given sentence, you could just maybe focus on the key vocab words that's the focus of that card. Or if you want to practice writing kanji, you could write out each sentence with the kanji as you see them, or for an extra challenge, whenever they show you the sentence without the kanji, maybe try and rewrite that sentence with the kanji in it. Writing all of this out would take more time, so for me, I'm just trying to fly through these as a review, so I'm focusing on reading, but it all depends on you, what level you're at and what your goals are. But I do think people of any level should check these out. If you're a total beginner at Japanese, then this is a really great base, and if you're a bit more advanced, I mean for me, these flashcards are super easy and I'm flying through them, but at the same time, it's still a nice review, and it's also kind of exciting and motivating and makes me want to study Japanese more, so just check it out. It doesn't hurt because it's absolutely free. So I hope that all of that makes sense and that you find the Core 2000 useful. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask and I'll do my best to answer. So what are some ways that you learn new vocab words? Knowing new vocab is probably my biggest goal in learning Japanese right now, so if you have any tips or know some really good Anki decks or anything, please leave a comment and let me know. I would love to read those. Thank you for watching, see you next time, and happy learning!